Most guitarists learn the major scale wrong. The shape that most books and videos start with is not actually the most usable shape. By learning what I call the two landmark shapes of the major scale, you can easily navigate the neck like the pros. These landmark shapes of the major scale intersect with the landmark shapes of the pentatonic scale, like I taught in this video here. So when you learn these two landmark shapes, you can easily find the major scale in two different spots on the neck for any key, which basically allows you to navigate the entire neck. This also lets you effortlessly bounce between the pentatonic scale and the full major scale, giving you two different sounds, the pentatonic scale being a rootsier, bluesier sound, the major scale being a little bit jazzier or more melodic. And by visualizing how the landmark major scales intersect with the landmark pentatonic scales, you can easily just add or subtract two notes to switch between pentatonic sounds and major scale sounds. So most books and videos start with this shape of the major scale. I'm in the key of C, and I find the note C on the 8th fret of the E string, and I play this shape. While that shape is useful and it's very easy to teach, it is not the most useful shape of the major scale. So the shape that the pros use the most is this major scale. I find C on the 8th fret of the E string with my pinky, and I get this shape. So that shape of the major scale intersects with the main shape of the C major pentatonic scale, which would be this. So essentially, I just added two notes to the pentatonic scale to turn it into the full major scale. I added root, 2, 3, a 4th, 5, 6, and a 7th. Root again. Root, 2, 3, and you can see the next note of the pentatonic would be this 5th here, so I'm adding a 4th. Then here's my 6th. My 7th is the note that I'm adding, and there's my root. So essentially I added this note, this note, this note, and this note to the pentatonic scale. I'm going to do a playing example where I bounce back and forth between pentatonic scale and the full major scale. So for the other landmark shape, we find the root note on the A string. So I'm looking for the note C on the A string, which is here, but I'm going to move it up 12 frets so that I'm not having to deal with open strings. So the pentatonic scale for this landmark shape would look like this. The full major scale for the landmark shape would look like this. And again, seeing the intersection between those two shapes is a really valuable skill because you can bounce back and forth between the bluesier, rootsier, pentatonic ideas and the jazzier, more melodic major scale ideas. So here in this playing example, I'm going to use those two shapes. I'm going to bounce back and forth just by adding or subtracting those two extra notes. So for any key, you establish two landmark positions, one with the root on the E string, one with the root on the A string. So this gives me two landmark shapes for any key, two spots on the neck that are safe and comfortable and very easy to use. Another nice thing about this framework is I actually get to double my vocabulary with this, because the C major scale, or the C major pentatonic scale, is the same as the A minor pentatonic scale, or A minor scale, the full A minor scale, which is sometimes called Aeolian mode. In other words, all of these same shapes work for the key of A minor. If I'm in a minor key, I find those root notes on the E string and the A string with my index finger, and I'm playing the exact same shape. So this shape of C major is the same as the shape that I would use for A minor. And this shape of C major is the same as this shape for A minor. So now I'm going to play to an A minor backing track. So there are 5 shapes of the major scale in total, but these 2 shapes are your landmark shapes. They're the first ones that you should learn, and they're the ones you should concentrate on the most in the beginning. Once you can make really good melodies out of those 2 shapes, then you can expand to learn the other 3. I hope you find that useful. Thanks, and follow me for more lessons. If you want to see my video on the 2 landmark shapes of the pentatonic scale, click on this link right here. Thanks.